Hello, Falcon community. We've had an awesome week at Rockwood South. Can't wait to tell you all about it. Here comes another blast. Okay, let's get into some important stuff right out the gate. I know that tonight Rockwood Summit will have their very first home football game. That is Friday night. The game starts at 7 o'clock. Parents, students, it's really, really important that you remember that there are specific and strict guidelines for what our character and attendance needs to look like while we are at these football games. First and foremost, students, remember that if you are in middle school or elementary school, you must have an adult with you the entire time at the football game. It's also important to note that students cannot leave the game and then come back. You must be in attendance for the entire game if you're choosing to stay to watch. And then last but not least, the ground rules are no backpacks, no outside drinks, none of those things can be brought into the stadium. So please make sure that you have your adult, that you wear your Falcon gear, that you're in the stands and ready to support the Rockwood Summit Falcons to victory tonight. I look forward to seeing you there. All right, moving forward, I want to share a little bit of information with you continuing into this week on our Falcon Creed. Remember that our students, 100% of our students, had input in what our school-wide commitments and actions for achieving our values would look like this school year. Students had an opportunity to see the synthesized version of those commitments, and they had really great discussions during their advisory classes to talk about how will we support one another if we break one of those commitments, or how would I as a student or staff member want to be supported by others if I break this commitment. I loved getting to hear those conversations. And right here, you can see Ms. Davis's advisory class engaging in that discussion in a circle format. And now it's time to get into our learning focus.
Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here.
All right, looking at our learning focus today, you can see that here at Rockwood South, we talk a lot about cooperative learning and how we want to engage our students in critical thinking through those student-to-student conversations. And we're looking for these 4 things specifically: positive interdependence, individual accountability, equal participation, and simultaneous interaction. And so you can see in these shots, those 4 components have been coming to life within our classrooms. In this particular shot, we've got one of our PE classes. Ms. Forsalito and Mr. Jackson did an amazing job of running an activity called Here to There, which engaged teams and having some out-of-the-box critical thinking ideas and some materials that one may not have thought about using to travel from one side of the gym to the other. It really made our kids think in a different way and to determine how they would work together to get all members of their team across that gym floor. I happened to also be in an 8th grade PE class where they were doing something similar called Crossing the River with mats. And so I know Mr. Voiles and Mr. Koger did an excellent job of leading that activity as well. Once again, tons of critical thinking and student-centered instructional practices. That's what we want to see taking place within our classrooms. We can move forward into another or 2 more classrooms actually, where we also saw this happening this past week. We could see that happening in Miss Ingles' class, where she used a Classroom Olympics format to get her teams working on some team building activities that directly related to ELA skills that they will utilize in class in the upcoming unit. And then you can also see Miss Murray's math class in that second picture, where students were having to group various graphs using their vertical whiteboards, and then they were presenting to the rest of the class why and which they chose to group the graphs in that manner. Both super cool activities and lessons. I want to finish off with one more quick thing. So I'm going to scroll back for you. And that is ways in which I have seen our staff members making a difference by building connections with students. Our counselors are engaged in what they're calling minute meetings. And so you see up top a picture of Miss Messerla meeting with a sixth grade student. The goal for our counselors, they are planning to meet with 100% of our students over the course of the next couple months, just to engage in discussions with them to find out about strengths, interests, anything they're worried about related to middle school setting and the upcoming school year so that we can best support them. And then below that, I've got a shot of Miss Engel and a student engaged in what we call 90-second expert, where her students are the experts and she is in the position of listening intently about their strengths and any area they feel that they are deemed an expert. Great job, Miss Engel. Whew. Tons of great instructional practices, tons of awesome student learning and great leadership from our students. I'm super excited to see how they are going to continue to lead going forward into this school year. And with that, I hope you have a wonderful long weekend. Remember, we are off on Monday, so we look forward to seeing all of our kids here on Tuesday. Have a wonderful weekend, Falcons.